Picture this. You are sitting on your couch looking at your phone. You just sent a long, vulnerable text message to someone you really care about. You see the red receipt appear, and then nothing. Hours pass. Or maybe you open social media and see a group photo of your closest friends hanging out at a dinner, and you realize nobody invited you. Or in the most brutal scenario of all, you sit across from someone you deeply love, and they look you in the eye and tell you they don't want to be with you anymore. What exactly happens to your body in that split second? You don't just feel logically disappointed. You don't just feel a vague sense of sadness. You feel actual, violent, physical pain. You feel a heavy, crushing ache right in the center of your chest. You feel a suffocating tightness in your throat. Your stomach completely drops. We literally use the word heartbroken to describe this state because it genuinely feels like an organ has been injured. But if you take a step back and look at this logically, it makes absolutely zero sense. Why does a purely social event where nobody laid a single finger on your physical body hurt exactly like a physical punch to the gut? Why is the sensation of being unwanted practically identical to the sensation of being physically struck? To understand the brutal reality of this biological quirk, we have to rewind the clock and travel back 50,000 years. Imagine you are an ancient human. You live in a small, tightly knit hunter-gatherer tribe of about 50 to 150 people. In this prehistoric world, the tribe is not just your social circle. The tribe is your entire survival strategy. It is your only armor against a relentlessly hostile planet. If you decide you are tired of your tribe and you wander off to survive completely alone on the savannah, you are not going to become a highly successful, independent lone wolf. You are going to die. You cannot single-handedly hunt a massive woolly mammoth. You cannot stay awake 24 hours a day to keep a fire burning and watch for predators. You cannot defend yourself against a pack of starving cave lions in the dead of night. For our ancient ancestors, being exiled from the group was not just a sad social event. It was an absolute, guaranteed death sentence. Because of these incredibly high stakes, human evolution had a massive problem to solve. It needed a way to guarantee that you would never, ever want to leave your tribe. It needed an internal alarm system so incredibly powerful, so entirely impossible to ignore, that you would do absolutely anything to fit in, cooperate, share your food, and avoid getting kicked out. But evolution is highly efficient, and it is notoriously lazy. Instead of building a brand new, highly complex, quote-unquote, social alarm system from scratch, evolution looked at the human body and found an alarm system that was already working perfectly: the physical pain network. Think about why physical pain exists. If you step on a sharp rock or touch a burning hot coal in a campfire, pain is your brain's way of screaming, "Stop doing that right now, or you will damage your physical tissue and die." It forces you to immediately change your behavior. Evolution simply took that exact same brilliant wiring and applied it to your social life. It reasoned that if physical pain prevents physical tissue damage, then quote-unquote social pain should be used to prevent social tissue damage. Getting kicked out of the tribe is just as deadly as stepping on a venomous snake, so the brain responds with the exact same terrifying alarm. Before we get to the mind-blowing scientific proof about how everyday painkillers can actually cure a broken heart, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever felt a literal, physical ache in your chest from a bad breakup, a betrayal, or a harsh rejection? Drop a emoji in the comments below, or share your story. I want to see how many of us have felt this ancient, prehistoric alarm system go off in our own bodies. We do not have to guess or philosophize about this evolutionary connection either. The proof is literally glowing in bright neon colors inside modern brain scanners. In a famous, groundbreaking 2003 study, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger took human subjects and put them inside an fMRI machine, which tracks real-time blood flow and activity in the brain. She had the participants play a very simple, incredibly boring virtual catch game on a screen called Cyberball. The human subject was told they were playing with two other real people connected from different rooms. For the first few minutes, the three virtual avatars tossed the ball back and forth equally. But then, the researchers secretly changed the code. The two other avatars started throwing the ball only to each other. They completely ignored the human subject. They deliberately, coldly excluded them from the game. What happened next inside the brains of those subjects completely shocked the scientific community. When the participants realized they were being rejected, even by completely anonymous strangers in a silly, meaningless computer game, two highly specific regions of their brains completely lit up on the fMRI scan: the anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula. Why is that mind-blowing? Because those are the exact same brain regions that process the distress and agonizing suffering of actual physical pain. When you break your leg, when you burn your hand on a hot stove, or when you get a tooth ripped out without anesthesia, those specific regions fire wildly. And when you get rejected by your peers, those exact same regions fire in the exact same way. Your nervous system, physically, biologically, and neurologically, does not know the difference between a broken bone and a broken heart. In fact, this biological connection is so literal and the wiring is so deeply intertwined that scientists later discovered something that sounds like absolute science fiction. A researcher named C. Nathan DeWall conducted a follow-up study where he gave a group of people Tylenol. Yes, acetaminophen, the standard everyday painkiller you buy at the pharmacy for a headache or a twisted ankle. He had them take it every day for 3 weeks and track their social interactions. Compared to the placebo group, the people taking the physical painkiller reported significantly fewer hurt feelings, less social distress, and less emotional agony from daily rejections. Furthermore, when he put them back into the fMRI machine and played the cruel cyberball rejection game with them, their brain's physical pain centers showed drastically less activity. Because to your ancient primitive brain, pain is simply pain. If you numb the physical pain receptors, you actually numb the social pain receptors too. And this brings us to the massive, frustrating, and often depressing mismatch of the modern world. Today, the world has completely changed. You do not actually need a tightly knit tribe of 50 people to survive the winter. You can live completely alone in a high-rise apartment building. You can work remotely from a laptop, order your groceries through an app, have hot meals delivered directly to your door, and literally never speak a single word to another human being for months at a time. Physically, you are perfectly safe. You will not freeze, and you will not be eaten by a cave lion. But your biological hardware never got that update. Your nervous system has no idea what the internet, DoorDash, or a modern apartment building is. It is still running the exact same ancient 50,000-year-old survival software that kept your ancestors alive in the dirt. So when you get passed over for a promotion at work, when you are left out of a group text, or when someone leaves your message on read, your logical brain might try to say, "Oh well, it's not a big deal. I'll just make new friends." But your ancient brain absolutely panics. It looks at that unread text message and thinks, "The tribe is abandoning us. We have been exiled. We are going to freeze to death in the woods tonight." It instantly fires the maximum physical pain alarm to force you to fix your social connections before it's too late. This is exactly why modern social media is causing a massive mental health crisis. We are subjecting our ancient brains to thousands of micro-rejections every single day. Every time you post a photo and it gets 0 likes, every time you see someone unfollow you, your brain registers it as a life-threatening tribal exile. We are experiencing the evolutionary pain of death on a daily, recurring basis. So what do we do with this information? How do we survive in a world where our biology is constantly torturing us for social mistakes? First, you have to practice radical self-compassion. The next time you feel the crushing, humiliating weight of rejection, do not be angry at yourself. Do not look in the mirror and call yourself weak or overly sensitive or dramatic. You aren't weak at all. Your body is just doing exactly what it was brilliantly designed to do. You are simply feeling the echo of an ancient survival mechanism. That ache in your chest, that tightness in your throat, that is the exact biological alarm system that kept your ancestors alive long enough to create you. Recognize the pain for what it is. A ghost from the prehistoric savannah trying to keep you safe. Take a deep breath. Logically remind your nervous system that you are not going to be eaten by a lion today, and let the ancient alarm slowly turn itself off. If this deep dive into human biology helped you understand your own mind a little better, type the word survivor in the comments below so I know you made it all the way to the end. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe for more animated deep dives into the fascinating ancient wiring of our modern brains.